What's up, Brett? That air compressor does make a difference. I can actually hear myself think. What's up, Aaron? I got of course, the lighting does absolutely no justice, but coins mounted, ready for the knot. She's all finished. Coin setting right now. And then I just got to still want a bomb on the bore in that, right? What's up, Mike? All right, awesome. I will get that set. Awesome. More freaking Florida, all this humidity. Just clean the lathe bed. Already rusty. What y'all think? Can you hear me a little bit easier over the air compressor? Decided to invest into, I was working with a hand-me-down air compressor from my dad, just a pancake one, which was doing fine, but it was just so daggum loud. And got a crazy deal on that guy on Facebook Marketplace yesterday. I decided to invest in. It's like a $800 air compressor I think I got for 150 bucks. But it's way quieter, and it's a 20-gallon tank compared to a 4-gallon that I was at. So it's kind of crazy. I can fill the pressure pots. I got a 5-gallon and 2.5. I can fill them in probably, I think I can fill like 5 of them before it kicks in. So it's kind of crazy. What's up, one? All right, what do we got? We got 86 in here right now. We'll kind of go over a little bit about what we're doing. Still working out the kinks, rearrange the feng shui of shop and everything. So still kind of trying to figure it out. I might do another Megazord. This is a Bills themed one, so I might do that one. I think I'm gonna do this. Probably gonna do a Yeti pour. What's up, Rob Hagan? Probably gonna do a Yeti pour. Trying to figure out which one. And then this one is actually a Mardi Gras tester for the other gargantuan brush. So depending on what this turns out like, and I'll see if Eric joins so that Eric can kind of see what that's looking like. So that's kind of the plan right now. I might do this other Nebula one in a jar style. Maybe we'll do that one right now to warm up. Beautiful Galaxy, I do not know what you mean by metal brake. Oh, Eric is here. Okay, cool. Then maybe we'll just start with the Mardi Gras right now then. Let me get some water real quick though. We got finally starting to cool off here. 95 in the shop right now. So maybe we'll be able to turn that fan off. All right, what y'all think? Should we start with the Mardi Gras? Should we go with Yeti pour, Nebula? I think the Nebula is probably going to be a jar style, just by the size of it. What y'all thinking? You can see the casting station behind me there. That's where all the magic happens. Just did a nebulous one the other day, or I've got there was another cool blank I had over here. We got that one. All right, we got 2 Mardi Gras. Let's go ahead and roll with that. Let me get the camera in position. Still working out the kinks. Should have practiced this, but I was focused on finishing brushes instead of filming. Gosh, freaking LED right in my eyes. All right, how's that? Real Cyclops visor, yellow, lights up, please. And thank you from X-Men. So you would want, what was Cyclops' suit? Was it blue? What would you want, Tyler? Like a blue, what's up, Anton? Like blue, yellow, red. Tyler, if you're on Instagram, shoot me a DM. And remind me to pour it. So we're gonna do this Mardi Gras one right now. Laissez les bon temps rouler, as the Cajun would say. So there is some, I hope it's the right green. We're gonna leave it to Eric to evaluate. And we'll see. But there's like some, almost like some should be some translucent pockets of like green glitter, purple translucent. There's a solid purple, gold, and then like a green that I think is close to Mardi Gras, but we're gonna let the Cajun there determine that. All right, let me get my glasses on. Another pair over here. We're gonna put the vacuum on, even though it ain't gonna make a stitch of difference with that fan on behind me. Oh, thanks, Adam. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you stopping by. And then y'all let me know what you think about the camera angle. Like I said, trying to get it a touch more immersive for y'all. Unless Eric claims this one will be up for grabs. Take off just a touch more. I think that's glitter, but to make sure there's no bubbles. Yeah, this one could be pretty cool. Oh, left my iPad in the house again. Yeah, this one might be nice. It's looking pretty cool from the top down. Yeah, Rob. Flight of the Concorde shipping. That's exactly, I shipped them this morning. Funfetti. What's up, DK? Offhand, I am seeing a lot of purple. Eric, let me just double check. You did not want this one, right? Because I know if you do want it, you're going to want it in a 30 mil. What's up, Josue? Before I get the socket drilled. Eric at the bar. Well, we're checking the pour first. I'm making sure that you like the pour. This isn't going to be the 30 or the 40. If you like the pour on this one, then I'll do. Then I'll pour one for the 40. I wanted to make sure I got the colors right before I poured the actual blank. Yeah, I think my four swinger's getting dull. This one's had a good life. Phone call. Trying to work better at my finishing on these collars when I do these kind of ferrules with the skew chisel. The one aspect of my finish that I'm really trying to work on. work on not continuing down and just kind of starting to mold it from there. Go a thick collar today. Chasm up right there and try to separate that ferrule a little bit. I got the non-negative rake tip in this, so I got to be careful. The only problem with doing that ferrule, it looks so good, that little collar there, but it is impossible to get in there with sandpaper. Make this one just kind of like a big boy chunkier handle. That little lip right there, I'm just kind of deadening it a little bit. If you're a straight razor honer, I'm basically just killing the toe so that that's not overly sharp at the end. Is that Mardi Gras, Eric? Joker's a good, this is supposed to be Mardi Gras, but Joker's a good, that's a good call too. I mean, it is Mardi Gras, but it's also Joker as well. So Jason, this is a shaving brush handle, my friend. So if you're not familiar with traditional wet shaving, basically the way that our grandfathers used to shave, and you would take this brush and hold on one second. Take a knot, put a knot in the brush, and then this is what you would make a lather with on your face. Pretty cool stuff. There's a number of wet shaving YouTubers in the channel here. If you are not familiar with it and you're curious, they can answer questions, or I'd highly encourage you to check out some of their channels. I'm one of them. Usually it's wet shaving content, and that led me down the path of wood turning and now resin turning. Hole. I like to get super fancy with the coin hole. What's up, Wayne? chunky handle there. That's nice. So pane, I usually do 65 for the handle only. And then if you want a knot with it, the cost of the knot plus shipping. For now, without my website doing PayPal, I can charge that. But unfortunately, when I get my website going, I'm going to have to raise my prices a little bit. But for now, that's currently what I charge. I'll tell y'all what, this is about to explode when I throw some alcohol on it. What's up, Thomas? I've been meaning to message you, my friend. I just finished yours today. It's actually sitting over there right now with the coin setting up in it. I believe we talked about you doing an A2 knot, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Payne. If you want this one, I've got. Are you into traditional wet shaving? I have a variety of knots. If you have never used wet shaving brush before, I'd probably steer you towards synthetic. If you're a seasoned veteran, then I have badger knots as well. I'm running low on boar, but I might have a boar knot available. I'm actually running low on badger too. What's up, Siraj? Dino? But yeah, if you want to claim this, you are more than welcome to, my friend. Oh yeah, okay, then you know what you're doing. I'm gonna stop talking. So Payne, just DM me on Instagram. My Instagram handle's in my bio here on YouTube. And then we'll figure out what you want for a knot. And then, so Payne, do you hone all of your own straights? And we have quite a few people in here right now, so I just want to let everybody know, if you have never seen this before, I am turning a wet shaving brush. This is a handle for a wet shaving brush used for traditional wet shaving. And essentially, you would put a knot in this brush, and then you would use it to lather on your face instead of using with an artisan shave soap. And then you would shave from there. So, Payne, I would highly recommend that you check out Eric the Cajun Blade. He's in the chat right now. This is actually a pour that he was wanting. Not the brush, just the colors on the pour. But he does a lot of live straight razor honing that you might find super interesting. Wait, some more. Alright, once we get this cross sanding done, I'm trying to be a little bit more cognizant around the base of that ferrule. Like I said, I'm trying to improve my finishing on this style of ferrule. Still kind of a work in progress for me. Kind of the only area that my finish is really kind of lacking a little bit. So JJ, yeah, also Tyler, Eric is also, that Eric TCB is also a major shave soap artisan who engineers his shave soap formula specifically geared towards straight razor shavers. Really good stuff. Mike, what's your favorite, what Cajun blade scents have you used? Voodoo is really, really good. I used that again 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm not super narcissistic, despite what my wife might say, but I don't use it too often, and then I break it out again, and I'm like, gosh, Eric killed it with that one. Such a good scent. I think I am going to hit that little crest in there with some Abernet real quick though. might as well just finish that ferrule real quick. Awesome, sounds good, Payne. I will check it once I get off here. What's up, Tayab? What's up, Nate? Got a message you as well. Oh, and then Mike, actually, here's the yellow ferrule one. Mike Honecker, that is. Hansaker, sorry. That one actually finished really well, despite some of those air bubbles that we talked about. That one actually finished really nice. And then Nate, I had to message you about this one, but in here as well. All the guys I gotta get orders out to are in here right now. Might as well just give the updates. Siraj. This one's a little dusty because she's been in the shop for a little while, so she's got to get re-shined up, but coin in her. She's good to go. Superman. Polished out real nice. Voodoo Origins coin in that one. Just really went well with the color scheme. And then, I don't know if Delwyn's in here. Delwyn's is done with a molten coin in it. Those have to get taken in and just kind of re-shined up real quick. Since Payne is going to claim this one, I'm going to get this one wet sanded real quick, and then we'll get into the next one. Yeah, Thomas, that one that you claimed came out really nice. What's up, Milton? Spritz that off right quick. Raise the colors. Oop. Which colors would you want, Lawson? Oh, Rob, we never talked about what you thought of your collab brush, by the way. Yeah, I hope you love them, Mike. I'm not gonna lie, Brooklyn is gonna be a shape that I'm gonna refer back to videos of and try to recreate at some point in the future. Oh, what am I doing? I'm not paying attention. Paying attention to comments. Crank that fan back on while I'm wet sanding. Am I muted? Can y'all hear me? Perfect. Yeah, I'm just not trying to get this wet sanding done as quickly as I can so I can get back into turning for y'all. Huge key to sanding, you always want to keep the paper moving so that you're not you're making even lines across the whole thing. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with divots that are going to be harder to polish out. You're not going to be able to cross sand them as well. What's up, Barry? And then you might leave some gloss on the table as well. Where having incredibly fat fingers is not helpful when you're trying to get to the base of that ferrule. I will have to check that comment in a little bit, Thomas. I cannot read that from this angle. You like it, Barry? It's still a little like rigid with trying to make adjustments, but I mean, it was $4 from a hipster secondhand store that I got. So, but hopefully it improves y'all's experience with the lives. Oh, thanks, Sean. Appreciate the kind words, my friend. If you're enjoying it, and you haven't, and you feel inclined to, please like and subscribe to my channel, and then you'll be able to see, get notified for when these lives pop up more often. I wouldn't be alive if I didn't drop my bottle of alcohol. That happened at least once. I like to try to clean the blank in between grits as much as possible. If I'm just kind of flying, then I might not think of it, but just kind of removes any little impediments that could be in the slurry from the previous grit. So I try to start clean. Now that I got Eric's blessing on the colors, Eric, would you want more, if you're still in here, would you want more green in this? Or is this kind of the right blend with what you would want? That's the only problem with that little feature right here. This little feature is super cool. It looks awesome, and it actually acts, it's functional because it actually catches more lather. But hey, no chance I'm getting my fingers in there to cross sand. Yeah, for those that may have just joined, my channel is dedicated to traditional wet shaving. There's a couple wet shaving YouTubers in here. If you want to consider subscribing to their channel as well, if you're curious about a different style of shaving, a different way of shaving. If you get irritation, just have really bad shaves with cartridges, just want to take your personal grooming routine up a notch, really love fragrances. There's a lot of really great people to reach out to in the comments right now. You can go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Like I said, like and subscribe here if you're enjoying watching this. So what I'm doing now, that obsession with wet shaving has turned into wood turning, which led to me getting into resin turning. So this is actually a resin shaving brush handle that you would use with a knot to create a lather on your face. Instead of using an edge shave gel or like a Barbasol shave cream, there are artisan shave soaps that are loaded with all sorts of really incredible skin food ingredients that are way better for your skin. Your skin responds to them a lot better, and the shaves are a lot better. So if any of that sounds intriguing, highly encourage you to check out my channel. Check out Nicholas Lopez in here, Mescalero Shaves, Rabbit Shaves, Eric the Cajun Blade in here, or just reach out to me on Instagram and we can just chat some more about it if you are interested. So, trying to be a little bit better about kind of explaining what y'all are seeing if you just joined, being that we do have quite a few people that have stopped by to check this out. And right now I'm wet sanding one. This one has been claimed by a gentleman watching right now. But there are plenty of opportunities in the future. All right, we get this out the way. That one's ready to go for polishing. I don't like boring y'all with the wet sanding, but it makes my workflow way more efficient instead of just having a pile of brushes stacked up. Yeah, you gonna fire it up, Eric? Alright, last look at this one. Payne, if you are still in here. And then Eric, would you want more green than this? Fly gun, I'm sorry if I'm missing your, I can't really see from this angle. It is not, so it's resin, it's not epoxy, it's urethane resin. But yes, it's, all right, then in the next couple days, y'all, probably on Friday, you will see me turn one of these in a 40 millimeter. I don't know if he wants this shape, but you'll see me turn one of these in a 40 millimeter for Eric. And then Payne, I think you already messaged me, but gosh, I can't see anybody's names. Just Burke would want more pink. Looks nice. I'm gonna go get my iPad real quick, and we're gonna test that out. I gotta go through the whole login and get Wi-Fi on. I haven't used my iPad since 2022, so that's gonna take more time. So I gotta remember to set that up for the next time so I can actually see the comments. Yeah, JJ, I'm doing a couple Megazord brushes as prototypes. This one, that's a Yeti pour. That's for a 36 millimeter. So 40 is going to be 2 sizes bigger. All right, what y'all want next? Do you want a Yeti pour? Should we do a nebulous? I've got this gargantuan. This one's for a 40. So we could do this one if y'all want to see a 40 turned. This one, this Yeti avalanche pour. Let me get my push bar out of the way and see where that blank just ended up. 40 millimeter in a Bills pour, go Bills. A Yeti avalanche pour, rando from the box. Nebulous Galaxy pour. What y'all think? Mike's saying Yeti pour in a jar style. We could do that. It'll have to be this is a little bit more narrow blank, so it'll have to be a more narrow jar style, like a slimmer one. This is also a new variation on a Yeti pour that I have as well. This one's got, it's got like an Arctic Blast color to it, which for some reason they put like almost like some dirty glitter in it, so it almost kind of has like a dirty snow vibe. All right, let's see how this avalanche turns out. I haven't done one in a while. I remembered why. It's just kind of it's a process to pour it and cleaning up after it. So I haven't done one since probably February. Let me see what that comment is. So you could do that if you wanted the same thing over and over, Sly Gun. I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. to me, that's more mass produced and less artisan. But you absolutely could do that. And there are some brush makers that do that. All right. All right. That's gonna look good. That's gonna look pretty cool. I have not done a Yeti in a jar style before. Mike, did you want this as a 26? Barry, I have not done any razor stands. I haven't figured out how I'm gonna like weight them down yet. I do have plenty with that thought in mind, but I have not gotten around to figuring like how I would actually sell them as razor stands to keep them weighted down. And they also have to be like a certain height too. Okay. Hit it. So So Slygun Yeti is basically, I have a couple different varieties of blues and teals that I use, and then it's just white and teal or blue. So there's kind of a little bit of a wide variety on it. I'm going to have to be really careful about getting narrow since it was already a thinner blank. Around that collar, and there's some like, it's like semi-translucent resin too, so you try to be cognizant. Just a touch more. I really don't want to go too narrow. Alright, we're going to leave that alone. And we're going to flip her around. All right. changed very much since I cut that fan off, but the humidity has gone up. Fumes coming off of this urethane right now. Pretty strong. We are going to have to re-drill the coin hole a little bit. It was just too long. Handle is just too long. So I apologize, I can't read your username, but for right now, until I get my website built, I charge $65 for a handle only. And then if you would like a knot with it, it would be the cost of the knot and then plus shipping. And then once I get my website built, unfortunately, I will have to raise my prices a little bit. Anthony, this is a shaving brush handle for traditional wet shaving. 60% humidity. I think we're done. That's your jar style. So for now, a standard kind of basic handle is 65. If I have to use like some more expensive mica powders, or like certain pours require more resin to get certain effects, it might be more. But for now, a standard handle is 65 plus shipping. And then if you would want a shaving brush knot, I have a variety of knots. I have a boar knot, which is a natural hair knot. I have a badger knot, which is another natural hair knot. And then I have a synthetic knot, each priced accordingly. So that it would be the handle plus the knot plus shipping, or if you already had a knot and you just wanted the handle, it would be, I gotta turn that fan back on, I'm dying right now. Just sweating all up into my glasses. So it would be the cost of the handle, so 65 plus the cost of whatever knot you want, plus shipping. And I will ship international, as long as you're willing to pay international shipping. I will ship international. You might just need to coach me up on how to help you avoid potential duties or tariffs. Yeah, Mike, this is going to polish real nicely. Here, before you go, I'll give you a little flash. It's gonna polish real nice. You need fresh Avernet anyways. What's up, Rabbit? Yeah, I wouldn't have gone jar with that blank, but I think Mike kind of had a premonition about it. This looks really good. And if you have not tried a jar style shape yet, highly, highly recommend it. These shapes should not be as comfortable as they are, and they're really versatile. You can bowl lather with them, you can face lather with them very comfortably on each. They're really awesome. Awesome. I love hearing that, Nate. I just think that most guys, it's gonna fit into their hand really well, like across the spectrum. Even this one is really nice. I kind of tried to slope this one a little bit more strategically so that it almost cuts your fingers a little bit more easily too. And then I have a concussion shape for head shavers that is basically it's basically like this, but a lot more bulbous and doorknobby and shorter. So that head shavers, from the ones that I've talked to exclusively, they actually tend to prefer close quarters combat, and biomechanically that actually makes more sense, because if you have a shorter handle, you don't have to activate your shoulder muscles as much, and holding that brush on top of your head is going to cause fatigue on your shoulder. Nate, I'm not sure if you've noticed the same with your head lathers. And a jar style like this is kind of a nice medium between that. A butterscotch jar with beehive. Okay. Actually, Nate, I should, you know what? Maybe that's what we'll turn next. I haven't done a concussion in a while. Let's see if I have a wide enough length. Alright, I just need to polish it. Fill it with Werther's Originals. Listen, don't be hating on Werther's Originals. Mix in just a little bit of generational racism, some spearmint, some pipe tobacco. It'll get us all into our nostalgic grandpa feels. Old Spice aftershave. Good call. That as well. Alright, let's wet sand this one real quick since Mike is taking it. Again, if I can just go from wet sanding to starting to polish, it speeds up the workflow. And I get to enjoy that fan a little bit longer. And more intermittent break on the shop vac white noise. Perfect. What am I doing? Let me get some fresh water in here, and it looks like I need some 1000 grit. Cream savers. Talk about the cream savers, Rabbit. We talk about like the little pseudo peppermint ones. Translucent red and white ones that were like a strawberry. Oh yeah. Yeah. Vermont Country Store. I'm gonna plug my phone here in a second. Listen, you can find all of that on Amazon now. Guaranteed. Or eBay. Or with an Abominable Creations brush. Yeah, that's what they're called. Strawberry bonbons. Well, this one just needs to be polished, Nick. Kind of fits your theme. Way too fast. Yeah, that one just needs to be polished. Problem. Oh, there's the second time I dropped the alcohol bottle. Oh boy. Chad's probably going to use like a 15/16 straight razor. What time is that, Rabbit? 8:30 Central? Honestly, what we need to get Chad is a Sextawick razor. And Nick, do you have one of those? All right, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. Y'all make sure that you go to 10SC Wet Shaving and check out Rabbit and Rabbit Shaves, 10SC Wet Shaving, 10SC Whiskey Shaving. Sorry, Wes. For their show. Sextawick razor, Nick. You heard of it? Basically like a 1940s think it came out in the 40s, 50s. I could be wrong. It's like that era's version of a Chevette, but it has its own proprietary blades with it. And it is, the blades are a lot more rigid than modern AC blades. And it is way more aggressive than a modern day AC Chevette. If you go check out Brandon Shave's channel, he's done a, he tore himself up. But might be a fun journey for you. You can get them on eBay. I actually found a couple in antique stores. The last time I went antiquing for razors, I chickened out and did not buy them though. Did not buy one, but I think you can get like a decent one for like 30 or 40 bucks. You just gotta find the blades too. All right. Another beautiful Yeti pour. Ready to be polished. See how glossy it is, even just from the wet sanding. And that one is actually an avalanche Yeti pour. Pretty cool. Nice jar style, super comfortable. All right, that's going into the polish pile. Is Mike Honsaker still in here? What's up, Octavio? All right, is Nate Burgermeister still in here? Resin. Alright, let's see if I got a link to show off the This one might not. That's another nebulous one. We're just going to do that one right now. I poured this one hot, so we'll see. And it might not be thick enough, but let's just turn it. We're going for practice anyways. We're talking about practice. Yeah, this one might be wild. As long as it wasn't too hot when I poured it, this one might be pretty cool. I mean, there's no air bubbles right there, so it might be good. Try not to shorten the back end of that too much because we're going to need her thick. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Since we are going to do a concussion, I'm shorting it right now. Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree, Nate. The only problem when you do like a nebulous like that is that sometimes the ferrule can be kind of translucent, which I don't love seeing the knot, the glue plug, but we're going to go a touch deeper just because I think we're going to shorten this some more. actually be only the second one that I've ever made. See how thin we're getting. That's about as thin as I want to get. Start to the finger. That's pretty cool, a little aurora in there. All right, flip her around. Doesn't seem like it should be, but this is kind of the trickier part, which is kind of getting it like almost perfectly doorknobish and round. Why I got to be really careful when I narrow that neck on the first go, so that I got plenty to work with right now when I'm like kind of tapering it. Now, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to lose some of that nebulous on the bottom. So I probably should have cut the other side too big or smaller. But y'all get the idea now. In case there are head shavers watching. Oh, there are some air bubbles in there. Alright, that's basically it. So, the couple head shavers that I've had test this, they said this is perfect like length for a close quarters head shave because you don't want to be activating all those shoulder muscles. Commodore pour. Like the Commodores? Oh, Vanderbilt. You ain't wrong. Scott, this is a shaving brush handle for traditional wet shaving. Oh, you like that shape, Barry? Yeah, ideally, I'll know ahead of time of when I'm making one of these, like when I pour the blank, so that I have like thicker blanks that I can make so that they're a lot wider. So that then I can shape it a little bit better than this. Like I didn't get quite as round on the back end as I would have wanted. Dang, shorter than this, huh? This is almost like, I think this is under 2 inches. Yeah, it's 188. Rob, this is called my concussion shape. It's kind of geared towards head shavers, but like Barry said, he likes shorter handles. So if you like shorter handles too, it's probably really good. Nate, have you ever used anything this short for head shaving? Or is the jar good enough? I'm gonna wet sand this one real quick too, because this one's not gonna take long. Yeah, so this one is 1.75 in diameter, so this one's pretty wide. So for reference, like this handle, this one's 176. Lovely, simple shapes. Make for really quick and easy wet sanding. Oh, I never did show this one off. All right. Oh, you guys can wait 15 minutes, if that. Shower shaver. Interesting. So Barry, what is it about short handles that make it, I guess, easier in the shower for you, or just your use case? Yeah, Nate's a good dude to take advice on whiskey and bourbon. Movie quotes. Juicy Lucy's. Minnesota attractions. Loose women. Oh, so it's less about like the actual shaving functionality and more convenience of stand. Oh, Nick, that makes me so happy to hear, my friend. I might actually be upgrading the quality. But I'm so happy to hear that. So glad you're loving them. Yeah, I might. I mean, I'm gonna test them out before I make any changes or anything like that. But I might upgrade the fibers with my supplier, so they'll be even more luxury, a little bit higher. Like I said, just higher quality hairs. I'm not sure yet, though. Like I said, I'm waiting on testers to come in for them and see, because I'd probably raise the price by like $5 per knot. So I want to see if it's even worth the extra. If it's like comparable, I'd like to keep my knot prices where they're at. If it like blows me away versus the current offerings, I mean, I don't know. Y'all let me know. I don't think $5 for a higher quality knot is that steep. I mean, Rob, I should say I am a Badger boy at heart. I love my synthetics. I love my bores, but you should know if Abominable Creations is going to carry a Badger knot, that Badger knot is going to slap. I have very, very high standards for a Badger knot offering. I don't take that expensive of a knot for consumers. Like for y'all to buy a $50, $55 knot, I don't take that lightly. I want to make sure that y'all are getting what you pay for. Which, Nick, that's why I'm really happy that you're loving them. Mike, did you want one of these two brushes with a bore? I can't remember. But yeah, like Rabbit said, I have a good how I break in a bore knot on my channel. There's a million ways, but I like my method just because it will get you the quickest route to shave ready on day one. But from then on, you still need to lather it. I like to lather them every day. My Abominabore is about 15 to 20. It really turned a corner at lather like 20 or 22, something like that. And now it's actually one of the best bores I've ever used. Which I'm not a conceited type that's going to say my knot's better than anything else. If I say that, y'all know that I have tested it extensively against a lot of different knots. I'm gonna keep it real. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Mike, it just depends. I mean, it can be 2 to 3 weeks, but really, it's the number of lathers. Like if I'm really trying to break in a bore, I'll soak it in the morning, make a really dense bowl lather, let it sit with the lather in the knot for an hour or two, maybe 3, and then I will beat it dry on a towel and then go put it in front of my fan for a couple hours, let it like basically get 80% dried out. And then that night I will go in and re-soak it again for 10 minutes and I'll make another dense bowl lather and repeat. And then that gets you, 6 lathers. Well, so maybe that's like 6 lathers in 3 days. What's up, Bill? This one is unclaimed. Yeah. I think I said in my video, if you're not sweating when you're breaking in a bore knot, you're not doing it right. Okay, I gotta set that aside then because my bore numbers are dwindling. I meant to go through my number or my messages and double check who was getting the knot, just so I could have an accurate count. I'm glad you said that. You can see kind of the gloss just from the polishing process. Or, well, it's not the wet sanding. This is just from wet sanding alone. But if you can see kind of some of the auroras in there. And that is the concussion shape. Again, I kind of like the other, like those auroras more. So this is probably where I should have not flipped it like I did. But still ended up really, really beautiful. And that's your concussion shape. All right, that one's going to the side. I'm trying to decide if I want to do one more. It's freaking hot. Oh boy. Oh, Mike's in here. I do want to show you the other one. And here's your other handle all polished up, Mike. So you wanted a 2-band in this one. Thanks, man. Yeah, everybody go tune in to 10SC Whiskey Wet Shaving channel for the live of the Open Comb Collective show tonight. Has anybody tried Lambda, Athena, or Freya? So for the money, Johnny, if you're going to spend, it's about the same amount of money for the SS, I believe, for the Athena as the Freya with all the plates. The Athena, in my opinion, is dramatically a better razor. Athena feels mild, but it's super efficient. Super efficient. Excellent shaver. It's so unique in its design and like the handle shape and the head shape. The Freya was a great razor. I had the Athena for a while. I got to test out the Freya exclusively as well. The Freya, in my opinion, the price is very steep for what you get. The finish, unless he's changed it, the finish is like a brushed polish, so it's not really like a true polished finish. The handle for me was very thin. I do have sausage fingers, so maybe that won't be a problem for you. It did shave. It shaved well. The mild and the medium plates were almost obnoxiously mild for me, for my hair type, for my skin type. The aggressive plate for me shaved the best, but also the aggressive to me fits more in like what most medium aggression razors are. So for me, if you typically use a mild plate, I would say you'd be good with the medium. If you typically use an aggressive plate, definitely get the aggressive. So from my opinion, also with the Athena, you literally get a whole booklet that's personalized with your name on it, unless you get it through BST. And then you get an individualized wooden box that the Athena comes in as well. Yeah, if you can get a TI Athena, I would definitely grab that. Have you used the carved bison SS or the aluminum? I have not used the SS. Black and white one. Are you talking about the short one that I just did, Bill? So this is, I wouldn't really call it white. It's more like it's got like an aurora to it. Is that the one you're talking about? That one is available. So it would be 65 for the handle. Typically, I just switched to UPS because USPS has been terrible for losing packages on me. And y'all have seen I put too much work into these handles to just let USPS just lose them. So I switched to UPS, so it's been somewhere around $10. If you message me on Instagram, Bill, you can send me your address. I'll get you an actual quote on shipping. But it's been typically around $9, $10, $11 to ship countrywide, depending on where with UPS. So it'd be 65 for the handle only. Let's call it $10 for shipping. And then if you wanted a knot with it, my synthetic knots are $15. My bores are, I have to check and see how many bores I have left, but they would be $20. My badger knots are $50. So if you do want that one, Bill, my email is also in my YouTube as well. If you're not on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, just shoot me a DM on there, and I can get that one finished for you and hopefully out. I'm finally catching up. My lead time's a little bit, it's still about a week right now on getting it fully finished, but sanding them on the live speeds that up a bit. I just have a couple other handles from some other claimed orders that need to get finished. We are at 2.5 hours now. My phone's about to die. I think I'm gonna call it, y'all. It's freaking hot out here. I do have that big old blank. Maybe I'll probably save that for Friday though. Are there any other questions? I can kind of show off a couple others that are about to be finished that will be available. If anybody's interested. These are a few that just need to be polished. This is one that just needs to be polished. That one's got kind of like a beautiful goldescent, like blue-green hue to it, and some marbling in it. Very interesting shape on that one as well. Super comfortable in the hand, almost a little bit taller. What's up from Russia? That one is ready to go. Well, it needs to be polished and then it's ready to go. Then this one is, there's like a blue hues to this, like a translucent kind of purple tone to it. And then almost little wafts of like it's not like a super feminine hot pink, but it is like a magenta-y kind of hot pink. It's got some sparkle to it too. That one's in one of my signature shapes. Super ergonomic in the hand. Very, very nice to lather with. And then this two-toned, unless Nicholas wanted this one, this two-tone just has to get finished as well. This one is a very cool pour. Very cool bottom. With a black and like sparkly black ferrule on top. Split pour, really, really cool. That's like a really nice blue hue tone to it. Really, really cool pour on that one. Yeah, Johnny, no problem, man. Actually, Johnny, if you click on my actual channel here, I have kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus from wet shaving content. Just have a lot of things going on in life right now that I'm trying to kind of sort through. So I have not been making as much shaving content, but I have been turning brushes. So since I'm turning brushes, I've actually been doing a lot of the lives. But if you scroll through my videos, I have 2 or 3 videos with the Lambda Athena. I think there's 1 or 2 that are labeled. I can't remember exactly, but I think I labeled them Lambda Athena. I have a couple videos with the Lambda Aries, and then I also have first impressions and a full review of the Freya on there as well, if you want to check that out, if that helps you. I actually only sold my Athena. Hold on a second. Hopefully y'all can hear me over that. I actually only sold I had the Athena SS, sold it. The only reason why I sold it was to upgrade to the titanium. And then right about then, Theodosis, I think is his name. He wasn't coming out with the polished Athena for like 6 or 7 more months. So in that time frame, I didn't want the satin one. In that time frame, I got into brush making. So I actually I sold my Athena to pay for, I think it was a table saw at the time. So I would love to add the TI back in my den at some point. It's not in the cards right now, but you will not be disappointed with Lambda Athena titanium, for sure. But like I said, I've got reviews of both of those razors, and then I've got full reviews of the Freya on my channel as well if you want to check them out. And then just DM me on Instagram if you want to chat a little bit more about it as well. All right, y'all. I think I'm going to wrap it up. We got some work done tonight. We did 4 handles, and we sanded them. That's in about 2.5 hours. That's some work. I'm freaking tired. I've been out in the shop now for, I think I finally stepped away from my computer at 2 o'clock, 1:30, something like that. So, been out here in the heat for like 6 hours now, so I am ready to go. So, yeah. On that note, Bill Seidelmeyer, just DM me. Let me know about that handle. If you are interested, what's up, Wes? Actually, Wes, I got an update for you before I sign off. This is one of Wes's handles that's coming to him. I have to go and mount the knot in this one. And she's got to get a little bit of a touch up. There's some polishing compound in some of the high blinds, so I do have to get a little touch up in. But that is how she's looking all finished up, Wes. Teal sparkle sharp. And we went with a Space Yeti coin in that one. Yeah, I am kind of dragging my feet because I've never had 300 likes on a video. So I think this is currently the highest. So I would love to get to 300. If anybody has not liked it yet, that would be awesome. All right, I think that's everybody for brush dates. Ben Pill's not in here. His is ready to be polished. This is another one that's ready to be, it's in the process of getting polished right now, and then I ran out of time before the live. So it's kind of half polished, half not. that is one that will be available. That one's super cool. It's got some blues, some greens, some yellow, and some whites in there too. That one's available. So, yeah. That's kind of where we're at. I'm going to wait another... yeah, we've been telling people about OCC tonight. So, like I mentioned, that Open Comb Collective show throughout the broadcast here. Click on 10SC Whiskey Shaving. He's commenting in the chat right now. That show is going to be live streamed on his channel. So you will be able to watch. See, I'm freaking tired. You will be able to watch Rabbit Shaves, 10SC Wet Shaving, Whiskey Shaving, and Chad Makes Wet Shaving. All have a little talk show tonight. They do it every 2 weeks, I believe. And that'll be 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern. 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. There's some live giveaways on there, some really good live giveaways. So definitely make sure that you tune in for that. No frills, just a couple guys shaving, a couple guys talking wet shaving. Really good stuff. Oh yeah, Nate, you'll love Rabbit's channel. Rabbit's hilarious. Nate, have you checked out Nicholas Lopez, El Mescalero? He's got a great channel. Wes also has a channel too. Some really great wet tubers in here right now. Yeah, how many giveaways are there, Wes? It's usually like what, 10? 8, 10, something like that? Now, conversely, Nick, anybody that has not followed BBS Live and does not join the BBS Lives, go follow Nate on Instagram and BBS Live and jump in on their stuff. I always love my BBS Live boys. Anybody else that's in the chat or that's in the live as well, go follow BBS Live on Instagram. All of these gentlemen are really, really great dudes. Only they follow BBS Live. I mean, Wes, you're a bourbon guy. You would love to jump in. You should jump in on the Friday lives for BBS. It's literally just drinking, shaving, bourbon pours and wet shaving. And then usually me just being obnoxious in the comments with movie quotes. But yeah, Rabbit thinks he's too punk rock for Instagram, but I tend to disagree. Just bleeding. We need 18 likes. I'm just bleeding here. I got no water out here either. I'm gonna crank this off. Show you a couple blanks that we got cooking right now. Barry, do you follow BBS Live? Yeah, bbs.live on Instagram, Barry. If you love bourbon, traditional wet shaving, locker room talk, you will love those boys. All right, so some of the blanks that we've got cooking. This one, the lighting will not do it justice, but this is almost like a color shifting red with some gold. It didn't quite, I don't think it poured the way that I would have liked it to, but I think it's still going to be pretty cool. There's almost like actually it almost has like a blood bourbon kind of vibe to it. And then there is also some black dye in there as well. It's like a really intense color shifting red in there as well too. So it should be a really cool shifter. This one's really good. Besides loser Brandon. I can't hate on Brandon too much right now. He just did a wonderful video featuring one of my brushes. So Brandon's an amazing human being. Yeah, so that's the same gold colors in this one, but it's manifested a little bit differently in this one than the other one. So the way that it reflected off of the red and the black in there, it's called an interference gold. So it actually interfered with the way the light spectrum is bouncing off of those two colors. So it looks almost like a copper, but it's really not. It's more like a gold. But that's why I say it didn't come out quite like I thought because of that kind of gold shift to it. But if you can kind of see in the light, that red almost shifts, almost Merlot colored. It'll probably show more in the actual turn. And I did put some red dye in it to make it a little bit more pure red. There's that one. This is kind of a special blank. My wife overheard that I was making a lady wet shaver a brush, and she was a little jealous that she was not going to be my first wet shaver brush. So she requested a brush from me, and this is essentially a stacked pour of our wedding colors, his and hers. I'm on this side, she's on this side, with some marbling in it, and then some like navy, and like our colors were like the wedding version of Bill's colors. So it was like a navy and like a wine Merlot color, like red. So that's going to be kind of a fun brush for her. So that's cooking in the pot or in the lab oven right now. Then this one, I'm almost, not to aquatic people to death, I'm trying to go for almost like a gold coral, aqua blue type of vibe. Like you can kind of see in there's almost like a coral, like orangish pink sparkle to it. I'd have to think. I think she was, Nick. I'm trying to remember back at Maggard's, there were a couple guys there with their wives, and their wives were loving them. But I can't remember if any of them actually got one for their wives. So you might be right. But in any case, this one is kind of like a deep blue sea meets like a corally kind of black vibe to it. So I don't know. We'll see what that one looks like, but I'm kind of excited. I'm just trying to change it up with how I see pours, what I'm pouring, all of that kind of good stuff. So there we go. So those are cooking in the lab oven right now, finishing the cure. And then coming up on Friday, if I can find the massive blank, I'm going to turn my 40 millimeter. So look at that chunky blank compared to this one. So this is going to be my 40 millimeter because I broke my first one that I turned live on here. And this is going to be a Bill's theme. So you can see there's some blue, some red in there. There's some translucent red, some translucent blue, and then of course some whites for the helmets as well, which I wish they would bring the red helmets back, but neither here nor there. So that's going to be a massive 40 millimeter brush. You can kind of see how that holds in the hand, and I am going to turn that one on Friday. I just dropped one. People say them damn bills again, like we actually do something. We ain't breaking your heart every year. We're breaking our own fans' hearts every year. But on that note, anybody have any questions before I take off? I gotta go eat some dinner, and I am definitely thirsty. I have been sweating a lot out here today, and I have had almost no water. So, on that note, if anybody has any questions, I do have some ready to be shipped out today. Well, tomorrow. Just go ahead and DM me on Instagram, Facebook, shoot me an email, and I will send y'all pictures or videos of what I've got. So, on that note, I'm gonna sign off. Was hoping to get to 300. We're gonna fall a little short. That's all right. Tracker just came out to check on me, so. Oh, Bubba. So on that note, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna kick my shoes off and probably just sit shirtless under the fan. You know, average wing velocity of a laden swallow. If I recall correctly from my aviary class in college, I think the laden swallow versus a red-breasted swallow is 21 miles per hour. Don't quote me though, Wes. So on that note, 8:30 Central Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern, Open Comb Collective, 10SC Whiskey Shaving. Go click on this channel, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, go tune in. I'll be there, the boys will be there. We'll all be talking some shit. It'll be fun. And then on that note, I will see y'all on Friday on the next live. We'll catch y'all later.